Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to learn about a new story, that is the Throne of Justice. So, first of all, this Throne of Justice this is adapted from the Throne of Vikram. As you can see here, it's written. That's the collection, the Throne of Vikram, and it is written by Romila Thapar. So, as you can understand by the name of the writer, she is an Indian writer, and as per the information is given here, she has a collection of stories which is called Indian Tales, and that includes lots of stories about Indian heroes and heroines, their adventures, misfortunes. So basically, she uh, deals with the Indian stories. Okay, and here the story which we will learn. Before getting into the story, we will get to know about some background story before the main story. Okay, so the background story, it tells you that there was a king whose name was King Vikramaditya, and he was a very strong and a brave king, but most importantly he was known for his wisdom. Okay, basically he was known for his wisdom, and he had understood one thing. According to him, the important thing was that if his people, because he was ruling a place, so the people of the place, if they are happy, then only there will be, if there is justice in the place where he is ruling, so then only people will be happy, otherwise not. So that's why he was a very just ruler. Okay, he did whatever was right, and his judgments, if there used to be any problem, so he would listen to those problems very carefully, deal with them personally, and also give judgments in a very fair way, not impartially. Okay, and even if he had to punish anyone, then those were also never inhuman. Okay, he did not used to be that harsh, but he made sure that the people, those who made the mistake, they would learn a lesson. Next, we are also told that he had ruled the city of Ujjain, but now that place or that area, it is lying in ruins. It is destroyed and it is all covered by grass. And this text, the main story which you are going to read, the text of the Throne of Justice, that is set in a village. Okay, so we will see the background of the story. It is starting in a village. It is set in a village. Now, if you see here, the village, it had an open space, and one day what happened now in the very beginning, the story, when the story starts, we are shown a village. We are shown that village where this story is set, and we are shown an open space. Okay, just an open field, and a row of stones are arranged there, and at one end there was a raised mound which looked like a throne. There were so many stones all piled up, and at one side there was a pile of stone which was raised up just like a throne. Okay, with smaller stones arranged around it. You just all can see here, this is appearing like a mound. Okay, and there are some other small stones which are just appearing in front of that. So what happened one day, when the children, basically in the village, the people, they bring their cows for grazing in the field. Okay, so the cows were brought, and the children who had made the cows busy, now they saw this place, and very quickly they just got into a play. They wanted to play now because they are children. Okay, they are very playful, so they wanted to play. And what happened, when they looked at the stones, very quickly one of them shouted and said that it looks like a king's judgment seat. And another boy, he was very quick, and he invented a game to fit the situation, fitting the mound, fitting that place. He invented a play, and he started that let's play this and we will do in this way and that way. So they got ready with the plan of the game. Okay. So another boy, he said that I'll sit on the mount and be the judge and solve your quarrels. So when one of the boys, he had invented the game, so the another boy, he said that yes, you all play in this way and I will become the judge and I will solve your quarrels. Now the other children, whoever were present there, they liked this idea and they agreed to it and they all started, but they described their problems to the judge. The other boys laughed and shouted. They were not so serious. What I mean to say is that while the children had invented the game, okay, they had said that we will be quarreling, and the another boy said that okay, I will be the judge and I will solve your quarrels. Now those children who had invented the game, they were not so serious about the game because they were small children. They were just acting to be playing. But the boy who had chosen to become the judge, he was very serious. Okay, he had taken the play very seriously and he listened to all of the quarrels very attentively. No doubt they were acting to be quarreling, but actually the boy, he was coming up with a lot of good decisions or fair judgments. Okay, his judgments were usually very fair. So the ideas or the decisions which he was giving, as you can see in this picture, these children, they invented the game. The cows are all grazing, they are all busy within themselves, and in the meantime they have invented a play. So they told about the play that we will come and we will be quarreling. When the boy said that okay, I will be dealing with your problems and I will be giving decisions or judgments. So as you can see in the picture, it was going on. Now the boys were very excited about the decisions which were given. Why? Because those were very fair. Now in the evening, when they went to their home and told their parents what had happened, at first the parents were very happy to hear all that. They were very surprised to hear all that. But then later, as the days were passing by, they became surprised that how is it possible. First, they felt happy or they were amused at the idea of the boy giving all the fair decisions, but then his judgments seemed to be more mature. Actually, the boy was acting to be in a very mature way. Okay, that's why the parents were so can be said disturbed, or they were not ready to accept this thing. And there was also something magical about the mound. Now what was the magical thing about the mound? The boy was a cowherd. Now we all know that all these boys, they are cowherds. Okay, but they were all playful. But this boy, the boy who was giving the judgment, he was also a cowherd and he was also playful as the other ones. But when he sat on the mound, when he sat on this place, suddenly something changed within him. He became thoughtful and spoke wisely. So something used to change inside him. Now the news started to spread around the whole village. Many people got to know about this, and in fact the king also got to know about this situation, about this news. Now while he heard about this news, he was thinking that maybe the throne of Vikramaditya, the throne of King Vikramaditya, was lying under the stones. He had just imagined it. He had just supposed it, thought it. So what he did, he thought, moreover, he also thought that if the throne could help a cowherd just is a normal boy, okay, cowherd make wise decisions, he thought it would certainly help me be a better king. So see, he got into a greed. He became greedy. He was flowing in the greed of getting the throne of King Vikramaditya, so that he will be able to give better decisions and that people will follow him. So he did not delay anymore, what he did, he ordered his men to dig the ground and bring the throne from inside the ground. So as usual, the men followed, and they dug the ground, and then under the ground what they found, a magnificent black marble throne which was supported by 24 carvings in the shape of the mythical bird, the Garuda. And that was the King Vikramaditya's throne looking like. Okay, it was very extraordinary to look at. It was a very beautiful one. It was made of marble, black marble, and the we can see here, this is the picture of the throne. Okay, as you can see in the behind part, in the part which is used for reclining back, that area or that part of the throne, it is all supported, or it is all engraved with the 24 carvings of Garuda, okay, which is a mythical bird. Now it was taken up very carefully and brought to the king's audience room. It was cleaned because it was under the ground, so it had become dirty. Now it was cleaned, and then the king had decided that a day will be chosen on which the king would be sitting on the throne. Now on that day which was chosen, that day came, the crowds gathered all around in the palace, because they were all very excited to see that when the king will be sitting, how is the situation going to be, or what is the atmosphere going to be. And they had all gathered there to also express their happiness for getting the throne, or for sitting, the king sitting on the throne. So they had all gathered there, that's why. Now before sitting on the throne, the king, he prayed. Okay, he prayed, and then he approached the throne. Now just as he was about to sit on the throne, what happened? One of the Garuda moved its wings, which was not normal. And then a voice which was very loud and clear addressed the king and said, "Wait. Before you sit yourself on the throne, ask yourself if you deserve this honor. Do you really think that you deserve the honor to sit on the throne?" Then the Garuda asked him another question. "Have you ever been unjust and cruel?" And also before that it added that only the person who is pure from its heart can only sit on the throne. So that's why the Garuda also asked again that, have you never been unjust or cruel to any person? So reading this or listening to this, the king stopped. He immediately stopped. Every people present there in the palace was very surprised, rather shocked. There was silence in the hall. He said slowly, I know I do not deserve to sit on this throne. There have been times when I have been both unjust and cruel. I shall pray and fast for 3 days and then return to this hall. He said that he understood that he is not ready to sit on the throne, and he also said that to correct all the mistakes, I'm going to correct my mistakes, and for correcting the mistakes I will be praying and I'll be fasting for 3 days. And he thought that after fasting for 3 days, after praying for 3 days, he will be better, or he will be able to sit on the throne. Now after 3 days of prayer, he came back again, and he thought that he is now ready to sit on the throne. But once again, just as the king was about to sit on the throne, another Garuda moved its wings and said the same thing. The same incident repeated again, and the king's courage failed. He was not anymore having the courage to move forward. He understood that he still was not ready. He said that he would be praying and fasting for again 3 more days. So in this way, the same thing happened, and it happened for 23 times. Mind it, it happened for 23 times, and we already have 24 Garudas on the throne, engraved on the throne. So 23 times it happened, so now only one Garuda is left. Isn't it? Now let's see what happens. Now at last there was only one Garuda left. The people who had assembled, who had all gathered there, looked very worried and sad. The king himself had an anxious expression on his face as he stood in front of the throne. As expected, the 24th Garuda also fluttered its wings and spoke. When he was just about to sit on the throne, again the Garuda moved its wings, and now this time again it started speaking. But this time its words were different. It said something else this time. What did it say? Did you not understand why we asked the questions? 23 times the same question was asked to the king again and again, again and again. But the king thought that if he prays and fasts for 3 days, that will be okay. He will be okay. He will be able to correct his mistake. But now the Garuda says that, did you not understand why we kept on asking you the same questions again and again? I did, replied the king. I did understand. So finally he says that now the Garuda says that only the young cowherd was permitted to sit on the throne of Vikramaditya. Only he received the wisdom of the ancient king, because he had never been unjust or cruel. Since King Vikramaditya was also a kind of person who had never been unjust and cruel to anyone, the cowherd boy was also very pure from his heart, and that's why he was permitted to sit on the throne. And since this king is not pure from his heart and has always been unjust and cruel to the people, that's why he will not get the permission to sit on the throne. It's as simple as that, but the king could not understand. This 23 times he could not understand. He just thought that I will be praying and fasting and then I will be able to sit on the throne, because he was greedy. But then now he has understood. As he spoke, there was a loud rustling sound. Suddenly, to the great astonishment of the assembled crowd, the large black marble throne rose in the air and flew out with the Garudas holding it. The crowds watched amazed. This picture tells you everything. You can see in this picture how they are surprised, how they are shocked to look at the whole view. Okay, now finally what the king realizes is going to share with all the people. The king went to the space where the throne of Vikramaditya had stood a few moments ago. He went to the center and now he addresses the people and he is going to tell something. My people, he said, his voice clear but sad. He was very sad at this time. You have all seen the happenings of the last few weeks. You have all heard the questions and my replies to them. The Garudas did not allow me to sit on the throne of Vikramaditya. I was not worthy to do so because of my faults. He confessed in front of the people of the village. He told to the people that you were all present here. You all have seen that what had happened. 23 times the Garudas had warned me, but I did not understand. They asked me various questions, but still I did not understand. They did not allow me to sit on the throne. Why? Because the only reason was that I had done so many faults. That's why I was not worthy. I was not a proper person to sit on the throne. But I learned something from the Garudas, something that has changed my life. What is the lesson? The lesson I learned is this: just sitting on Vikramaditya's throne was not going to make me a wise and just ruler. What he had thought, if he sits on the throne of King Vikramaditya, he will be able to give good advices, good decisions, fair judgments he will be able to make. This was his idea. But that was not enough, which he has realized now. I should be wise and just in everything, all the time, whether or not I am seated on the throne of Vikramaditya. And this even applies to our life, our teachings of life as well. Whenever we are doing any kind of activity, we should remember that we should be just and never be cruel to anyone. This is the thing which he had learned. Does not matter if you are sitting on a throne because you are a king. It's not that being a king to give good decisions, then only you will uh, be a wise person. Okay, just to become a wise and great ruler, only then you will be making good decisions, and for that only you are sitting on the throne. That will not make any sense. You are sitting on the throne just giving a good advice to one of the group, and another group you are dealing in a very bad way. That will not happen because you are not true from your heart. You are not pure from your heart. So how can that happen? Whether or not I am seated on the throne of Vikramaditya. He was greedy because he had thought that if he sits on the throne of Vikramaditya, then he will be a good ruler and people will be following him. That was his greed. But in real life, in everyday life, a person needs to be just and wise. This is the lesson which the Garudas taught the king. With this, the king moved away slowly. Once again, the judgment of Vikramaditya had been a wise one. So the throne of King Vikramaditya proved again that it will never accept any kind of injustice and any kind of cruelty to anyone. So this is all about the story, and also we learn a lesson that we should be just and not cruel and be pure from our heart in whatever thing we deal with or whatever situation we deal with. Okay, so that's all